I was 54 years old when I registered to vote for the very first time in my life. And 2016 was the first time I ever voted and the last. When I had voted for Trump like everyone else, I was tired of being lied to and voting and getting the same outcome every time. And but I never stopped collecting evidence because I watched how all these platforms go back and scrub important information that ties them to the criminal activity going on. So when this documentary came out right here that I'm about to show you, I watched the media jump right in like this video explains. It explains exactly what was going on and how the apparatus works. And if you watch this entire video to the end, you'll see exactly who is at the center of all this. And you're going to be surprised, and you're going to vomit, and you're going to shit your pants when you find out exactly what's going on. I'm just going to add the opening to this video, and the very last segment of this video talks about how many people in our government are the direct descendants of the Trotsky era Russian, Polish, Ashkenazi Jews. And so I decided to track down one important individual who fits that description to a T.
Assange, because this is being...
I don't want to identify it. Do I know? Yes. Do I want to identify it? No. And the reason for that has to do with my long-standing
No, I understand. So what about the word, though? If Hillary really wants to push, there's going to be a press conference of a bunch of different agencies.
Well, in terms of what? Their agency?
Well, people just coming out and saying, I released it, I leaked it, I did it.
Okay, well, that's their prerogative, but I do not want to reveal who and
no, I totally understand. I totally understand. Well, let me say this.
That will not happen.
You know what? The public deserves to hear this and to get it straight. Now, how did you get Donald Trump on your show 3 times prior to the election? How did you pull that off?
All right. I never tell this on my own show, and this will probably end up being news tomorrow, but you deserve it. I know folks that are part of Delta Force, and I know people that are part of covert action in the Defense Department and the CIA. And quite frankly, they've given me authorization to talk about this. I have never been in the CIA. I have never been part of covert operations, but I was basically contacted by groups inside the Special Forces operations in Florida, inside breakaway groups inside the Central Intelligence Agency, and groups basically behind American industry that wanted to defeat the globalists, and they're planning to bankrupt America. And so they told me that they were advising Trump on the globalist takeover, and that they understood from their demographics and their studies that we actually had conservatively 15 million people a week visiting Infowars.com and tens of millions watching our videos, and that they briefed the president, or now then candidate Trump, and that they wanted to attempt a counter coup against the globalists.
But this is what got Donald Trump to say, I got to be on this guy's show?
Donald Trump was advised by the Special Forces Command out of Florida. They said
to go on your program.
I mean, that's who actually, let's just say it, the enemy already knows all this. Let me just say, so everybody listening knows I'm telling the truth. Special Operations Command in Florida, the Delta Force, Army, Black Ops, Army's the oldest thing in America. It's before the Constitution, anything. They said, sir, you need to go with Alex Jones, and you need to rally the troops. And they briefed him. They showed him the documents, and they said, we need you to run. And the Delta Force basically asked Trump. Delta Force, founded by General Boykin and Schumacher and people like Dr. C. Pachenik of Psychological Operations of the CIA. They basically delivered the message to Trump with all the dossiers and all the proof of what was happening. And he just said, you're highly recommended. All I can say is we're going to be talking a lot more, because he was being briefed by top generals. I'm not going to say the name on what we're doing. And it's not that I'm even special. I'm willing to say this. I'm willing to do this. I wasn't directed by anybody. I was just aware of the operations. I was studying it. As you know, you're a Navy guy yourself. And we just did what we had to do. We did a counter coup against them. I'd say 90% of the CIA, defense intelligence, military, special ops is behind us. George, you're getting the absolute data dump right now.
I didn't mean to go on that rant earlier. I was thinking how much the Q stuff's driven me up the wall and how much it pisses me off, and how then I got accused of supposedly supporting that stuff because it leaks into my show. And then being accused of being part of that because I've got an organization and what my other shows do. You said he was the Messiah. You said he was invincible. You said it was all over. They were all going to Gitmo. Now, he's part of a larger thing of Q. I will not suffer your Q people after this. I knew what you were day one, and I know what you are now, and I'm sick of it. And I was separately told this by Q Anon. So I'm going to say again, I've talked to Q Anon. Q Anon is totally real, as Zach and our Cape Canaveral sources and Space Command sources have pointed out, and people make jokes about that, but that's the 18th agency. You're here. This is big. QAnon. I know you know QAnon's identity, but yes, obviously we're not going to, and I've confirmed as well, QAnon is a group in the Pentagon.
And very close to Donald Trump, military intelligence, specifically Army intelligence, I believe. And I've affirmed, working with the people who run the monitored 8chan, QAnon has been using the same trip code, the same IP addresses for his devices. It's the same Q from the very beginning. And when we were decoding him, it was so bizarre. We were decoding.
But see, you're playing coy here. You know QAnon, so do we. Let's just leave it at that. The point is that Zach is part of the same group, but he's with NASA, and that is the beginning. And QAnon said that 2 weeks ago, and we know who QAnon is, and we play coy about that, but it's Army intelligence and some groups in Florida and others.
Adam Green here with No More News. I've wanted to make this video for a long time. It's a compilation of former Infowars and Alex Jones employees and guests who have recently been speaking out about Infowars. And some of the trends you'll notice here are that Alex Jones refuses to criticize Israel. He forces his employees to sign non-disclosure agreements. He's untrustworthy, and the reoccurring theme that just you shouldn't trust Alex.
Breaking exclusive news from Dr. Jerome Corsi and his extensive connections in the Middle East, where he served as an advisor to the State Department and more, and a lot of classified areas we can't get into. He has major breaking news exclusive right now. Dr. Corsi, thanks for giving Infowars the exclusive.
Well, Alex, it's great. I'm actually today in Nashville, Tennessee, and working with a really important cybersecurity company. And I just got a text from top intelligence in Israel. Israel has nominated Donald Trump for the 2017 Peace Prize. He was nominated last year. There's about 200 nominations, but this is in advance of Netanyahu, Prime Minister Netanyahu's visit with Trump, which is coming up in the next few days. And Israel has decided to make this nomination basically on the decision to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem and the fact that Donald Trump has had the courage of his convictions. Again, another promise in the campaign being fulfilled, taking, I think, an historic, maybe even biblical step to legitimate the state of Israel. And the way I read the Bible basically says those who help Israel, God helps, and Donald Trump's on the right side here.
Well, certainly providence that he invoked during the inaugural speech is with our republic. And of course, England began to help the Jews when they were being persecuted going back 1,000 years ago in Europe. And of course, it's been known since then. That's why England had so much great providence. And also, of course, the Christian faith and Christ being number one. But that covenant has clearly been passed on, not just to all the Gentiles of the world through Christ, but particularly to England and the United States. Historians, even people that are anti-Western, have marveled that the United States of America has a special providence, Dr. Corsi.
Yes, well, even while we're talking, I mean, Israel, I just got another text message. I said we were going to break the news on Alex Jones' Infowars broadcast. They said one word. They said, great. They're thrilled we're going to break the news on Alex Jones' Infowars. And that comes directly from a source who's really above Mossad and the intelligence structure in Israel.
Yeah, so folks are really getting things raw here on air now.
Yeah, and so this is really, I mean, this is coming in as we're talking.
Yeah, so folks are really getting things raw here on air now.
The clip you just watched was in 2017, where Jerome Corsi and Alex Jones try to pretend that they're not together. But let's rewind to earlier in the year, that same year. If you listen, you can hear someone in the audience ask Jerome several times, who is Alex? But he moves right past it and goes right into the Q Anon bullshit.
About 3 years ago, a group of generals came to me, and it was explained to me they were ready to conduct a coup d'etat. They were ready to move Barack Obama from office with military force. And then a few weeks later, I got another call and said that they were reconsidering. You know why they were reconsidering?
No, why?
Because they talked to Donald Trump. And Trump agreed that he would run. And they agreed that if he would run, they would conduct their coup d'etat as a legitimate process, rooting out the traitors within government. And that pact between the military and Donald Trump has held. As we've been interpreting and watching, and Alex has been following QAnon, QAnon is military intelligence and close to Trump. And the intelligence we're getting really is a lot of the inside script. Now, everybody says Donald Trump is going to lose, he's going to be out of office, he's going to be impeached. You watch CNN, MSNBC, they're throwing a party today, and all the 20 people watching them across the nation are very enthused. Donald Trump will not be removed from office. He will not be removed from office. And the counterattack he's going to launch, one or two facts that could change everything. Get a report from Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General, who details the corruption within the Department of Justice. Donald Trump is right. Maybe we should tear down the FBI building and start over again. Yeah. And if you take a look at the depth of this corruption, It's pervasive since George H.W. Bush. The bureaucrats who have stayed, including these SES bureaucrats who are there mostly permanently, they're globalists. They don't believe in America anymore. They think they're smarter than America, smarter than the Founding Fathers. We ought to revise the Constitution. They are, there's a very simple word that describes what they are. Traitors. Traitors. It's a capital crime. And I want to predict to you here today that when the tables turn, Donald Trump will be invoking military tribunals. And even Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama are going to be facing treason charges. It will not end, and Donald Trump will have the courage to do that. Every time it looks to me, I've said this about Donald Trump, I've known him for decades. I said, Donald Trump always looks like he's going to lose until just before he wins. Always. He's always looking like he's 1 inch from being, losing all his money. 1 inch from losing this deal or that deal. Everything Donald Trump has done in his life has been a success. And in the final game of this, I think Donald Trump will reduce the bureaucracy. I'd say 95% would be good, maybe 100%, because the bureaucracy isn't specified in the Constitution. There's no discussion. There's no article about the bureaucracy, which means it can all be removed. Fire them all. And I think what we can have is a rebirth, as we say, of freedom in this country. But I want to say 2 or 3 things about Zuckerberg. Someone has come forth as a Silicon Valley insider anonymous and has been writing me extensive emails, which I've now been able to validate. And the story of Zuckerberg and the others is this. Facebook, all of the major ones, Twitter, YouTube, Google, every single one of them is a creation of the CIA. They were funded by the CIA, and they were there. And by the way, they are all considered dispensable. Zuckerberg may not realize it, but he's in the ejection seat. And the button will be pushed and he'll be ejected out. But the real power in Silicon Valley is the infrastructure of the internet. It's the oracles. It's the Microsofts, the Sun Microsoft systems. These are the tracks, the railroad tracks on which the internet runs. The bridges, the infrastructure. And the people who are really controlling Silicon Valley are the Larry Ellisons. These are the people you know less about because they're not the front men. Zuckerberg is dispensable. Eric Schmidt is dispensable. Google is dispensable. They'll just replace it with another one because the real godfathers are the Larry Ellisons and the others. And who funded Larry Ellison? The CIA, the military-industrial complex, moving in with Lockheed and the others wanting the creation of a new generation of electronic hardware for the military. And in the process, and that started going back into the 50s. What happened is along the way, they realized with social media, they could create something where we would all give them all of our information freely about everything about ourselves. People even post pictures of themselves naked, which they keep forever. Every click you make is going right into the intelligence agencies. And then that data is being profiled and given to the New World Order, sold for money, for advertising and marketing. And by the way, Zuckerberg may have his own rules and his own way to protect privacy, but don't for a minute think that they aren't still collecting the information. They've got it all. It's archived, It's every phone call you've ever made, every email you've ever made, and people are stupid enough to put these devices in their homes which can record everything they say. Facebook can track you even if you're not a member of Facebook. They can all do all the tracking anywhere you appear on the internet, and that stuff is archived forever. What we've got to do is we've got to reclaim the internet. We've got to have an internet Bill of Rights, as it were, to impose First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment. We've got to do this through Congress, and I'm here to tell you that before Donald Trump is done, the internet will be 100% regulated, or it will be broken up. Because Donald Trump understands the threat to our freedom. The threat to our freedom every one of us face with this information is so massive control that never occurred to George Orwell or Aldous Huxley that this could happen. But I'm here to say that in conclusion of all this, the same conclusion in the book I've just written, in Killing the Deep State, it ends, in the end, Donald Trump wins. And never forget that in the end, God wins.
When Jerome was talking about Trump and Q and the military and all that stuff before the election, you hear the audience ask him, "Who's Alex?" Because him and Alex were working together for a long time before all this happened. And then in the other clip, which is in 2017, he's talking to Alex Jones, and they're pretending like they're not friends, They're just business associates. But the truth is, very important, because in 2017, you see right here, you became the Washington, D.C. Bureau Chief for the conspiracy theory website Infowars. So he was working with Infowars when he was pretending to be something he's not. And here's the most important aspect of this. Okay. Operation Trust was something that happened in Poland. And when you look at Robert Corsi, Jerome Corsi, he is the co-authors Showdown with Nuclear Iran, Radical Islam's Messianic Mission to Destroy Israel and Cripple the United States. So, and he helped co-write the book Rebuilding America. Where's it at? Okay. Yeah. Q Anon was initially promoted by Corsi because him and Roger Stone and Alex Jones created Q. And Jerome Corsi is Q because I'm trying to find this. Alright, where's that? I'm found these, come on. Where's it at? Come on. Alright, it's gonna be hunting Hitler, atomic Iran, victim for commands. Alright. He went to St. Ignatius High School and Harvard University. Alright, here we go. Corsi began to work in banking and finance in 1981. In 1995, he helped launch a mutual fund to invest in formerly communist Poland, exactly where Operation Trust took place, because that's his heritage. Ashkenazi Jew from Poland. He's starting to see what's going on here. And they used Cambridge Analytica and their influence to get Trump selected for president. It's a little ironic. It's a little too ironic for some of the Q people to stomach this. That not only Q is a Jew, and that's what all these National Socialists hate. Supposedly hate Jews and all that stuff. They're the lowest IQ people I've ever met. They got religion wrong. They've got socialism wrong. And they voted for Trump. Oh, God. The guy that you're looking at is Jerome Robert Corsi. He was born in East Cleveland, Ohio, in 1946. He's an American conspiracy theorist and author. He has 2 New York Times best-selling books, Unfit for Command in 2004 and The Obama Nation in 2008. In 2017, he became the Washington, D.C. bureau chief for the conspiracy theory website Infowars. You heard that right. And Washington, D.C. Yes. Anyways, of course, he began to work in banking and finance in 1981. In 95, he helped launch a mutual fund to invest in formerly communist Poland after the fall of the Soviet Union. Well, there it is, folks. You've got the one person who matches the description in the last section of Operation Trust. Jerome Corsi is he's Q the Jew. And that's a little too ironic, isn't it? That this piece of shit is the Q. He is Q. He's part of the creation of that, and he is the Jew of the Trotsky era, currently taking over. They pulled the same dirty bullshit fucking trick on America again, and y'all fell for it, just like I did.
Governments around the world are all becoming tyrannical all at the same time. This is being done on purpose. This is called order out of chaos. In the same way they did this during COVID, where almost every government around the world walked in lockstep with the exact same agenda to essentially push enslavement on their people until people finally woke up and realized what was being done to them after many people were convinced to take a medical experiment just because someone in authority told you it was safe and effective, and now we see the detrimental harm that it's done. They create order out of chaos. They manufacture crisis events to create chaos, then they can bring order out of that chaos. Problem, reaction, solution. You create a problem. You invoke the reaction that you need from the people, who will then beg you to give the solution for the very same problem they created. From COVID to mass immigration to the digital ID, all this is being used to convince people that it's good for them to acquiesce to their own enslavement. I don't care if you believe the right or the left is looking out for you. Both sides are walking in the exact same direction, and the exact same boot will be placed on your neck, and you won't even notice until you can't breathe and it's crushing your neck. That's how this goes. They've done this in history before, and it's killed millions of people. Do not acquiesce to your own enslavement. The only way out of this is united non-compliance. If enough people say, no, fuck you, make me. They want to create laws against hate speech because they hate what you're saying. They don't like the fact that people are speaking out and waking up to the fact that these politicians are all richer than they've ever been. Doesn't matter which sides you align with, they're all corrupt, and they're all being used to push the exact same agenda. The government wants to control every part of your life. From what you say, to what you think, to where you can go. They want to monitor everyone's behavior and convince you that you should think the way that they want you to think. They want to gaslight you to believe that there is a such thing as hate speech. Hate speech is free speech. It's the freedom to be able to say what you think, when you want, and if somebody disagrees, well, too bad, because I will fight to the death for your right to say it, even if I disagree. We should be monitoring and surveilling every single politician, everywhere they go, everything they do, but yet they're doing this to us. We should know where the money's going. Why are they all richer than they've ever been as we are more poor than we've ever been? This is all being done on purpose. The communist New World Order that they need to implement is the idea they need to bring everybody to the same poverty level. Hence why they're flooding our countries with millions and millions of foreigners who don't really contribute and will just acquiesce to their own enslavement. That's why they need to get rid of white people, because throughout all of history, we're the ones that fight back against these type of agendas. So you better wake up and realize united non-compliance is our only way out of this.